State lawmakers are back at it. They reconvened in Austin on Tuesday for a new legislative session. So what are the priorities and what can we expect out of this session? We are joined now by East Texas State Representative Cole Hefner. Representative Hefner, thanks for being here. First order of business was the election of a new House Speaker. Dustin Burrows out of Lubbock was the man chosen for that job. Representative Hefner, what's your reaction on the new House Speaker?
You know what? I supported Representative Burrows from the beginning. He was the conservative in the race, and we're looking forward and excited about doing big things and accomplishing conservative priorities this session. So we're ready to get to work.
And I want to now move on to one of the big issues that we're going to have. We've heard a lot of talk about school vouchers, and that seemed to be the number one thing that the governor was campaigning for and against candidates up and down the ballot. Are vouchers a done deal?
You know, I think we'll get a bill. I think it's going to be important that we do it the right way. That we take care of our teachers, pay them what they're worth, take care of our public schools in East Texas, but also give parents the right to decide what's best for their family. And I think the votes are there for that. What that bill will look like remains to be seen. It'll take a lot of work to get there. There's a lot of emotion, a lot of opinions on all sides of that issue. But I'm confident that we'll get a good bill that takes care of our teachers and gives parents the right and the freedom to do what is best for their families.
Now let's talk about newly filed legislation you've recently filed, House Bill 1849, which aims to protect Texas land. What specific actions does House Bill 1849 take to prevent foreign adversaries from purchasing Texas land?
So it makes it illegal for foreign adversaries to own land in Texas. And it gives the investigative authority and implementation to the Office of Attorney General. And so it's kind of a policing action. So if an illegal purchase happens, there's a process where there's a complaint filed, an investigation, an enforcement mechanism where that land is divested. The state will take ownership of that and then sell that and use those proceeds in the state's general fund for whatever we see fit.
And can you explain how the bill will impact current landowners who may have foreign connections or ownership interests?
So this bill will only be going forward. So anybody that owns land currently did so under the legal laws that are in place as of today. So this bill will only apply to purchases going forward after it's implemented September the 1st, should it pass.
And Representative Hefner, what role do you see this legislation playing in the broader context of national security and foreign influence on American soil?
Oh, I think it's huge. I mean, we're looking at adversaries owning land close to our military bases, our infrastructure, refineries, power plants, water treatment plants, things of that nature. And so I think it could play a big role. And our goal, our mission, our effort has been to determine what those threats are, and then what the state can do, what is our role in working, intertwined with the federal government's responsibility, and then what we can do as a state. And so we had those hearings back in the interim, and now we've seen the governor issue some executive orders with which we have bills filed, or at least in draft, or going to file a bill that address those going forward. And so I think it could be significant in playing a role in our national security.
Do you anticipate any challenges to this bill?
You know, it's kind of a bipartisan issue. It doesn't cut across party lines like some issues. So we've got a lot of support across the entire House. And so it'll just be getting the bill through the process to where we don't violate people's private property rights, but yet we do protect our state from these hostile adversaries. And so just making sure that we do it properly. We want a bill that's strong. We want a bill that's not complicated, doesn't have loopholes in it, but also doesn't trample too far into people's private property rights. And I think this bill does that, and we look forward to a robust conversation and moving it through the process.
And that's what I want to get to next. Conversations or feedback you may have received from constituents and industry stakeholders regarding this issue. What were they?
You know, from constituents, it's positive. This issue makes sense. It's easy to understand, and it just doesn't make sense for hostile adversaries, foreign adversaries, to own property in our state. It's just kind of a no-brainer. And so, the only thing is stakeholders, parties this might affect. It's just those things. We don't want to slow down commerce, and we don't want to give the state the wrong kind of authority to where they trample on people's private property rights. And so, that we think this bill does that. That it goes after the people that are the problem and protects private property rights of legal Americans, legal Texans, and so there'll be some details, some knickknacks through the process that we may have to tweak, but we're looking forward to getting it rolling and getting the bill passed.
And Representative Hefner, why are you so passionate about introducing this legislation?
I think it's just one of the most important roles we have here is to protect our citizens. And that's government's main role. It's not to tell them how to live. It's not to pick and choose winners and losers, but to be that protector so that people can thrive in our free system of government. And so, to me, it's just a common sense, good issue that we need to fix. And, I'm happy to be the one hopefully carrying the bill that passes, and looking forward to getting it across the finish line and signed by the governor.
All righty, Representative Hefner, thank you for your time.
You bet. Thanks for having me. Appreciate y'all.